I really have to be honest. I've been talking about an addict ever since I really discovered the fact that I have an addict, this mental addict. I've been really thinking about what's in my attic. And although I mentioned before that the dream I had, I went up and I discovered that it was empty. It was another dream that came back, and I was afraid to go back in there because I was afraid of what I was going to discover. And I realized that there's so many moments that I've had that sometimes I still avoid my attic because I recognize that I've been putting more things in there. And in putting some of the things in there, I haven't labeled them properly, and I've just forgotten about what's in those boxes. And one of the things that I've learned is sometimes I have so much stuff in one box, I'm afraid to open that box because of what I'm afraid that I'm going to find. And then when I see it, what is it going to reveal about me? So one of the things that I realize is that I put so much stuff up, and some of the things aren't even labeled properly. They're just thrown in the box. And when I threw those things in a box and I started just trying to go back and look at it, some of the things that came up for me is a lot. And I had this mindset that once I see it, I can't unsee it, and I get to start working on those things because I want to see it to completion. And a lot of the times I'm not even sure what that means for me, like what this completion looks like. Or I might know what completion looks like, but the process to get the completion might be a little muggy. And it requires me to work through things that I don't know. It also requires me to actually trust myself more. And it also requires me to go against some of the things that I felt like I believe, which is you can't start unless you know how you're going to finish it. And the things that I'm learning is sometimes you might not know how to start. Sometimes you might not know what it's going to look like, but you also get to work towards just doing it anyway. Because when you just do it anyway, sometimes you discover parts of yourself, parts of that process that you didn't even know existed. And sometimes in my case, I discover new things that creates more work for myself and sometimes for others. So it's like a constant push and a constant movement towards these things that always leads to something else. And is it a bad thing? Not necessarily. However, just depending on how your mindset works, you really got to work through understanding once you open the box, what are you going to do with what you find?